Rarotonga's landfill, located in the inlands of Ararangi, has been in operation for 10 years. This landfill currently takes in household wastes, plastic bottles, aluminium cans and glass bottles. A settling pond has also been constructed to manage sewage waste within the landfill area. Recent interest has been raised about Rarotonga's waste facility, with speculations of the landfill already reaching its capacity limits. Members from the non-government environmental organisation Te Pukaria Society recently visited the landfill to observe what visual issues stood out.
I'm Kelvin Pasfield from the Pukaria Society, and we just thought we'd come up here and have a look at the landfill site because we all know there's a serious waste issue on the island, so we thought we'd come and look at least one aspect of it. You see here they've separated the household waste into this pile over here. And yeah, there's still a lot of plastic bottles and glass bottles and polystyrene containers, disposable nappies in amongst here. These are the things that can't be recycled, but because we're running out of room in the landfill, the ideal situation will be if they weren't put into the rubbish in the first place. So if we didn't use them, if we could find alternatives to disposable nappies, for example, alternatives to polystyrene containers that don't break down. If we used biodegradable paper plates or potato starch plates, for example, that sort of thing, then this sort of waste would be nowhere near as much as it is today.
From these pressures, the recycling team of 9 have started compacting plastic bottles, aluminium cans and general waste to fit in as much waste as possible to the minimal space left.
Here we have another part of the waste stream, the PET bottles, the plastic drink bottles that people buy their Coke or their drinking water or soft drinks in. You can see the good thing is they have been separated out of the rubbish by many of the households, not all the households as you saw before. Some people aren't doing it still, but many of them do. But in the end, they still end up here in the recycle division of the landfill centre up here. And the problem is they still don't have a way to recycle these, but what they are doing is they're compacting them whenever they get a break in their other work, they'll compact these PET bottles into bales so they take up much less room.
Sewage waste is also dealt to within the landfill through a series of settling ponds. At present, the assessment for capacity of the liquid waste treatment pond has been completed, with recommendations for the waste management team to continue monitoring over the next 6 to 12 months. From their assessment, the waste management team will have a better idea of whether an upgrade in capacity is required.
The other thing that's dealt with up here in the landfill area is the contents of the septic tanks and the other ways of handling sewage on the island. I think there's only 2 disposal companies that I know of, that's Tees and Estels. They use tankers. They'll go and pump out your septic tank when it needs to be pumped out, when it's no longer serviceable. They'll pump it out and they'll bring the waste up here, so there's a lot of liquid waste in those tanks, and the solids also, the solids from the toilet system, the results of what you're putting into the toilet every day. They'll bring it up here and they pump it into they empty it into the settling ponds, and the settling ponds are a series of ponds down at different levels where the solids will settle out and the liquids will run off, and then more solids will run off, settle out from the next layer down. And eventually they get to just the liquid, which is of course highly polluted or nutritious, depending on which way you want to look at it.
In an interview conducted with Tinirao Tamarua, the manager of Rarotonga's waste facility, his response to rumours of the landfill being full were quashed, admitting the landfill was not full yet.
Te paone au e karikia ke tato mea ngai titiri ngatita. No atu e me akarapoto mi tai atu nei I teitei kirunga. Kai nā ora ke maramata atu te ngai mania ti ngai titiri ngatita hari te ngai tika. I teitei au ta e aka ia tai. Te patu atu nei mato ia tai rira ke tano te leo ki au tai. So karikia.
Raratonga's landfill, which was established in 2005, had a lifespan of 15 years. Now in its 10th year, Tinirau is confident the landfill still has 5 to 6 more years of life, if we sort out our waste properly.
Kai naro te kamara matu I te mani anga I te anga I te mataiti 2005. Te mataiti tena I akamatai te ngā tatato ngā I chichirita I te iusi. I te tamanoko anga I tiria te me ka pou e tengo ora marima mataiti. E kie to tato ngā I mea te ringa anga tita. Mi tiria mataiti mai e tia mataiti ka tengo ora mataiti. Te mtita I tanga e rima mataiti toi o teria tengo ora marima mataiti. Te karanga ne au e ka teria te rima mataiti. Me tiara te mita ki roa tu e me mako tato te iri tato tita te pa me kiutane ka teria tu te rima mataiti. So te karanga ne au e ka teria ki te rima mataiti. The
idea of having an incinerator to help with the management of waste was initially on the cards, but now the idea has been put on hold as concerns around the burning of plastics and the toxins produced are at large.
Ke tau I tita. Nau te mea te kitene tātou ko te plastic, hare te plastic e pe me tukuru tui te ona. I tau I ana karoka, te one ra tumatanga no te poisino karoka mai no tui te ua. E u tāmana ko anga te, arau ke kena kone ka tau ki o koutu whirunga te au ianga.
A solid waste strategy was approved by Cabinet in 2013. The assessment will be carried out for the next 6 months this year and will cover 3 parts. This includes a waste audit to identify the different types and quantify the rubbish received at Raratonga's waste facility, along with disposable options and legislation reviews.
Toko manako I apa e la sia I tratu mataiti kua anga I te plan te kapikia ko te National Solid Waste Strategy. Kua approve I te plan I te Cabinet I roto I tia papa mea akanono anga te pinga mata I roto I ria ka inaoro ia kia akarakara matatio ia kia asesi te tūrango te tita e aramani kiuta I to tātou ngā I titiri anga tita ko tāmanako ia te tangata I te rau I te anga ko ia te project manager no te asesi anga I tia tāmanako anga ko tāna anga I rera turutu anga ka inauro ia kia rawe. Ko te mea mua kia rawe te tai ote. Runga I te tita e aramani kiuta nei nga I riringa anga tita te akarang. Au te tita plastic mai ko mo ina mai Ka inauro ki te ata mata o te au tita. Nā tirira aka kita mai ria no te prani anga no tuato mua te matara tātou wharu. Ko te mea mua tana tāna ka aka. Ko te rua, norunga I te au option te au tamanako anga, pe tātou kimi rāwanga anga I te tākore anga I tātou tita. Kananga tāua te mea mua. Me ka inangaro I tātou ngā I chichire anga tita kia, akamata I atu. O ki te o tātou, are roko te akamata mai ki tai ne, ka neke kiuta. So, te tai manako me kore me ka akara mai te tai ngā I ohutaki no te maani te ngā I landfill, ngā I riringa anga tita. Ko te tai manako ria norunga I te tau anga I tita, ko te incineration. Ko te tai manako ko te tai manako I roto I rira kananga tāua norunga I te au tita mi te moina pia. Te moina I onea. E te te tu apinga ara manikuta karoko te recycle. Ki te angara. O tato nga I titira nga tita kone te mata nga te tita ene kiuta plastic et mo ina pia. Ai nara te papu tu o te mo ina pia me anu mai kiuta nei. Ko ia te mata. Noro mai te otera te nga I deo ba nga I kaikawa te me Teo nā pōro ka ero mai. Nōre te mātanga te me wibike te ki no te moina. Te ipenga te ki akarakara I oki. Pene kai karoko te moina I maani te ipenga. Te ki tenei tātou ati, tō atu kumo ka pōteon. Hatana tu ina te ke tawiri yusi no te katua. Tire au mana ko er ke tanga e dia me. So ko te me te tana ka akara ai. O te toru ria o te tuanga e rera. Akara e tamato te ture nurunga i te wais. O te toru te ria tuanga mua rawi e o te rua o te tuanga akara ngai kakape e tato te o mana ko roko e te chien. Te toru ria nurunga i tato ture. Te o me e te e toru.
Once the assessment is completed, these options will be given to government for approval as a guideline for long-term planning for our solid waste.
Te rera te pau ngai. Mioti o ki te assessment i te mani ia, ka pai koe te common. Na te common i rera akara i rera ea a te kawinga no tātou, te ere ki ere turanku. No reo te angangati e rawi ene.
Crushed aluminium cans from Rarotonga's waste facility have been reused successfully, as just recently 1 container's worth of crushed aluminium cans were sent back to New Zealand, which added to about 1 year's worth of aluminium waste. Not only were the cans shipped off our shores, but in return, Rarotonga's waste facility received $10,000 for the bulk supply worth of cans. Tini Rao would finally like to encourage people to bring in their old light bulbs for free, as they can be safely disposed and recycled through a nifty new machine. This machine filters all the mercury and dust out of old light bulbs, leaving behind crushed glass, which is then sent back to New Zealand. Alana Smith for CITV News.